A North East hospital has become the first in the region to introduce live music to an intensive care ward. Now, it's been recognised for a long time that critical care units can be a frightening and stressful environment for patients and their families.
But now the Freeman Hospital in Newcastle is working with a charity to bring a professional musician onto the ward. It's seen as a small but valuable step to aiding recovery. Helen Ford reports.
The back of the winter is broken, light lingers long by the door.
Live music brought right to the bedside.
Now these bones that lie empty and hollow.
Musician Claire Tustin is touring the intensive care unit at Newcastle's Freeman Hospital. For patients, it's a rare opportunity to forget their troubles.
In these places, a lot of people's got a lot of worries, and you can listen to a lady like that who can sing, and it just takes you somewhere else. It was really enlightening, really good. I really feel good.
Medical staff at the Freeman say they understand that intensive care can be a daunting, even frightening environment. Bringing music to the ward is part of wider efforts to make the process more human.
We take the sickest patients in the hospital onto intensive care, so they're often in extremis of illness, and a lot of the treatments that we have to give to those patients are in some cases painful and distressing. Anything that takes the patients away from that unpleasantness, anything that enables them to get back to a bit of humanity, can be very good for them in the long run.
The project is run with a specialist charity called Music in Hospitals and Care. It's been providing music in clinical settings for many years. Bringing it to intensive care is a new challenge.
Very beautiful.
There's a lot of pain, there's a lot of fear that people are experiencing, not only patients but relatives and family too. And so our musicians have got to be very aware of this, and they've got to be sensitive to the environment from a clinical point of view as well. None of our musicians are clinically trained, but they need to know what the kind of protocols are to follow in intensive care.
It's quite a privilege, actually. It's quite moving. We initially planned that all the songs I would do would be really relaxing, but sometimes people, they want to sing along, or a woman today said, "Make me laugh." So I sang a Cushy Butterfield, and she sang along, and that cheered her up a bit.
And after time in hospital, music can be a welcome connection with the outside world.
Because of the job that nurses have to do and the doctors have to do, it can almost seem like a sort of an automated process being on a ward. Something as gentle and beautiful and humanising, if there's such a word, as music can make you feel part of the world again, the world outside.
Music cannot, in itself, provide a cure. The hope is that it can make a difference.
And Helen joins us now. I can see how it's a very uplifting experience, but how far can music help patients really in these circumstances?
Well, clearly music is no substitute for medical treatment, and it is very early days for this project at the Freeman. But the hospital tells me that so far it's had very positive feedback from patients, from their families, and also from nursing staff. And anecdotally, nurses have said that patients who were previously very withdrawn have begun to come out of their shells after listening to those live music performances. Of course, normally, if you're in intensive care, the only way you'd be able to listen to music is on headphones. A live performance is so much more powerful. Now, as we've said, at the moment, the Freeman is the only hospital in the North East which is trialling this scheme. But next month, it's coming to Sunderland Royal Hospital, and the hope is, in time, that others will follow suit.